Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he killed his two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it.
The PZ Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They'll be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
After new evidence was found against Melly and Bortlen's crib, his release date was announced. This will also result in YNW Bortlen being tried with Melly in the upcoming trial in September.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demmons, pending whatever future motion that I may hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay? Yes, sir.
As the news wrote, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin Feen to Bortlen's attorney said, so Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with YNW Melly. Having it with YNW Melly couldn't be worse for him. They're trying them together to make Bortlen snitch against Melly for one specific reason. While Melly's been sitting in jail for 7 years, YNW Bortlen has been released on a bond. However, he was just arrested for very incriminating evidence that was found inside his home, which will force him to snitch.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it was then shared, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week as filed into the Broward clerks. As in these photos, YNW Bortlen drew on a piece of paper where certain jurors were sitting with a description of what they looked like, as it looked like he was getting ready to slide for Melly if these jurors found Melly guilty in that first trial.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They'll be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
With the prosecutors having this against Bortlen, the news then wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate, no talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as this will just ensure that YNW Bortlen will snitch on Melly in the upcoming trial.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once. And also, you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way, they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It's common sense. If YNW Bortlen knows he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't physically be able to just sit there and take life in prison to the chin. This makes it very likely he'll then point the finger against Melly, because it's also very important to remember YNW Melly tried doing this to YNW Bortlen in the first trial. The only reason he was given a mistrial is because of what Melly's lawyers did the first trial when they tried pinning it against Bortlen.
Those were his lines. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As that is Melly's own lawyer revealing to the jury that it was YNW Bortlen that was lying to the feds and that he was the one with powder residue on his hands, while also mentioning he was the last one with Juvie and Sack Chaser when they passed. So this isn't fair for YNW Bortlen. He should be allowed to make his case, which is why they're trying them together. They even went as far as to bringing a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail of Bortlen having powder residue on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
Where you may be wondering, what did YNW Bortlen think of all this? Well, when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet read, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. Melly and Bortlen have not talked since this occurred. Bortlen also hasn't used social media either, which makes it very obvious his decision. With this in mind, when it was announced they would be tried together, YNW Melly looked extremely angry and broke down. He visibly yelled at his lawyers. The news wrote, "Today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court," as Melly was seen yelling at his lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You object to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
As on top of the Bortlen situation, the prosecutors also want to use new evidence against Melly, which relates to his gang association. One piece of evidence they want to bring in for the upcoming trial is a Facebook post of Melly with Young Thug. They're trying to claim that Melly is a part of the Red Street team, just like Young Thug is.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him. And he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has the big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
As when Melly was yelling at his lawyers, people inside of the courtroom overheard the conversation and said Melly said in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove it."
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
Now, the reason Melly doesn't care if the evidence is included is because if his lawyers get that evidence thrown out, this comes alongside a lot of paperwork. The paperwork is so deep, it will make the trial begin in 2027. This means Melly will have been sitting in jail for 9 years before ever being convicted.
I do find this case to be under the most compelling twist. Mr. Demons, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Demons' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, This division has trial special set in December of 2026.
But the state, they want the trial delayed once again. They want to try to bring in the most evidence they can to ensure Melly will be sentenced to life in prison at the next trial.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
At the end of this massive court day, YNW Melly's mother would go on Instagram Live and share the final decision of when trial will begin.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
As at the end of the court hearing, Melly's lawyers would ask for a bond release until September. But sadly, the news wrote, YNW Melly's reaction after not receiving a bond for the Double M case, he's been in jail for 2,320 days without a guilty verdict, as he would be denied for one concerning factor: the arrival of his ex-girlfriend named Mariah Hamilton. What the prosecutors did make many believe the Florida court system is corrupt. They made a deal with Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah, who has been hiding out of the United States since before Melly's original trial. She was supposed to testify against Melly in the first trial, but allegedly Melly paid her a lot of money to leave the United States.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
As Mariah has been out of the United States now for several years, she wanted to return home to see some family that she hasn't seen in a very long time, but she has had a warrant for her arrest the entire time. No one knew where she was. So when she returned to the US, she was immediately arrested in the airport upon arrival. She had a very hard time inside of jail, which is why at her first court hearing, the judge made her a deal, saying if you agree to testify against Melly, you're free to go. Now, she accepted this instantly. She was out of jail within 20 minutes, which is terrible news for YNW Melly because she knows everything about Melly's life. When she was released, she wrote on Facebook, "And to my village, thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Now, why it's very concerning is because on Mariah's iCloud account, there is literal evidence of Melly forcing her to not testify in the trial. This is known as witness tampering. It carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually took out Sack Chaser and Juvie. All she has to do is confirm Melly sent the messages.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering case will be separate from his existing case of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing. Now, this is a true possibility. Melly can beat the case of Sack Chaser and Juvie's passing, but if he is found guilty of witness tampering, he will still serve life inside a prison. As the concerning part is, the feds have the evidence and it's confirmed. They've been keeping Melly off of the jail phones for over a year now. It got so bad, Melly's mother, Jamie King, even did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing Melly to use a phone.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
The feds wouldn't be keeping Melly off of the jail phones if it was just a hunch he used it for witness tampering. They have the evidence stored away, because if they were keeping him off without the evidence, it would result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And the feds, they don't play those games. Having Mariah Hamilton on their side, alongside YNW Bortlen, will sentence Melly to life in prison. But having Bortlen particularly answers one very important question in Let Me Explain, which is, what is the context of what happened 5 hours after the crime occurred? Where it was announced, the prosecutors updated the evidence against Melly. He didn't know he was filmed admitting to the passing of Juvie and Sack Chaser. This will end bad, as only a few hours after the crime, Melly sent a text message literally saying, "I did that."
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
While at the exact same hour, Melly was filmed dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen 5 hours after the crime occurred, like nothing even happened.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends. But without his acknowledgement once again, he was filmed 30 minutes before the crime, where he was seen exiting the studio, sitting directly in the back left seat of the Jeep, getting ready for Sack Chaser, Juvie, and Bortlen to get in.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
Why it is so important is because the official court document reads, the direction of bullets traveling left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat, where YNW Melly was positioned, as we even saw YNW Juvie's mother confirm he was sitting there.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
While everyone saw YNW Melly sit in the back left seat, he mysteriously didn't even go to the hospital with his two best friends. Instead, he was picked up on the side of the road by fellow rapper Fredo Bang.
And Chris Thomas are. So what you're also going to find out is while Mr. Devins is out there on the side of the road, 4 in the morning, 4:42 specifically, he sends a drop pin, digital homing beacon, to his current location to one of his friends, Frederick Givens. Frederick Givens is also involved in the music industry, and he asked to be picked up. Frederick Givens then, about 11 minutes later, is sent another drop pin where Mr. Devins has moved a couple of meters. What you're going to find out as well, though, is these digital leashes, they have more than just phone call.
Which is very important because the prosecutors are going to use this against YNW Melly, as when Bortlen did his interrogation on the night of the crime, he didn't say a word about Fredo Bang.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked, ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car.
Hey, well, Ashley,
and I almost crashed.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
As it's very clear to officers, Bortlen's story didn't add up to anything. Bortlen's trying to stay confident, however, but his story just isn't making sense, as he would get caught up in his lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass, nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your two, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
The interrogation would go south from here. Bortlen would begin getting angry as the officers aren't fully believing his story about the crime.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
Now, commonly, when the criminal hits this point of the interrogation, where he doesn't want to talk and it goes south, it's the officer's job to reset the playing field. The goal is to ask as many questions as you can, hoping either the criminal will mix up his story and share different details than what he originally said, or accidentally say too much, which is why the police officer would then just want simple details of the in-the-moment actions that were made during the drive-by.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
As with time running out in their allowed interrogation time, the officer would flat out ask, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
But comment down below whether or not you believe Melly is guilty, and if you like at least Melly's music, leave a like on the video.